My name is Jesse Davis, host of the Penthouse Podcast, where I interview a lot of my longtime friends, some of the members of my club, and some of Wilmington's finest people. I am so excited to do this show. Thank you. What's up, guys?
Not much.
Welcome to the Penthouse Podcast.
Thank you.
Today I've got my co-host. This is Greyson Lair.
Oh, all right.
Greyson, Chad Hogston.
Nice to meet you.
Chad is the judge. Which district?
So they just changed this District 6 now is what they call it. Basically, it covers New Hanover County and Pender County.
How's the sound? Good?
We're good?
We're good? Oh, cool.
Hello.
It's me. So,
okay.
so basically, yeah, so he's the judge. So how long have you been in the seat?
I've been a judge for 15 years. Yeah, so a while.
It's a long time.
I know. And then before that, I was practicing law for 15 years. So I've been practicing law or
30
judge
years.
for 30 years.
You look, so you were like, came right out of the womb as an
Yeah.
attorney.
No, you were with me on my 50th birthday.
I can't believe it was your 50th birthday. He's got this really cool piece of property out in Pender County.
Yep.
Dirt bikes, four-wheelers, bonfires. It was actually, it was a great party.
You had fun, didn't you?
I did. I always have fun at bonfires.
You had a blast.
Yeah.
Everybody's, who's that guy? And they're like, I was like, that's Jesse. They're like, that guy was awesome.
Oh, cool. I made a lot of good friends at that party. But yeah, so brought you on here today. It's my first judge. It's your first podcast?
This is my first podcast.
What about you?
Yeah.
Well, welcome, guys.
It
It's
is.
your first podcast. Well, I got to be careful with what I say today for many more reasons.
Where was that going?
But yeah. So what was that something like it just sort of became like being an attorney, then being a judge? It felt like it was what was next on your list, or is that what you aspired always to do?
You know, I never aspired to be a judge. That wasn't on the radar, really. So I practiced law for about 15 years, and I ran my own business. I was a solo practitioner for most of that. And then a new seat opened up in 2010. So the North Carolina General Assembly created a new seat for this area because it was growing population-wise. And
Still is. Won't
Yeah.
stop.
Gosh, yes, it's wild. I mean, you see all these these apartment complexes alone that are just popping up. Like,
well, you wonder where all these people are
where are they
coming
go? Where are they going to work?
from, right?
I'm like, are they going to create jobs, or is it going to be like
I think
these?
they build apartment
I
complexes.
think it's these weird. It's going to be a lot of those weirdo people that sit at home on their laptops and remote there, and they Grubhub, they Instacart, they don't even leave. They use the gyms. It's getting where you don't almost have to leave.
I know.
If you have that kind of job, which I don't know what I would do. It sounds like a great idea.
You do have to leave for DoorDash and Grubhub and stuff.
No, you get it. You're getting it.
Oh.
The people that
they
that
literally
work
from
remotely,
home.
literally,
Oh,
they
and
can order their
I
food. They
gotcha.
can order their.
Well, people also do that as like a full-time job, though, as well. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Maybe. It's kind of
I
sad.
love more drivers.
Yeah,
It's
more
kind of
people
sad that
taking
it
up the
ends
roads.
You know, you're by yourself all the time. You never go out.
True, unless you're a really big introvert and you love that.
Yeah, true.
God, I dream of being an introvert. It's like, I don't know. I've got a good mix
Times.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that social battery that we all have. Some people have a bigger social battery than others do.
I don't see you being an introvert.
I know. I'm an introvert
That's
on
never
Sunday,
happening.
Mondays when I'm like hungover at home.
You
I'm
ain't
like-
gonna recharge.
They call them the Sunday scaries now, is what I've heard. So,
Right.
but yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah, your
real.
properties out there is really cool, and
Yeah.
being a judge this long, it's So as far as, is there the next level of your career? Do you want to go superior? Do you want to go like what is your like?
Yeah.
Do you
so
plan
I
on
was
doing
kid-
that, like making that jump?
No.
No, you're happy where you are.
I love exactly where I am.
Cool.
I am in my happy spot right now.
Well, you've got a beautiful, amazing, sweet wife.
Thank you.
You've got your children, and tell me about your family.
So I'm married to Erin. We've been married.
She is gorgeous.
She is. she's a hottie. We've been married for almost 16 years. She ran track for UNCW, so she was.
So you met
So
her.
nice legs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, she was a hurdler, sprinter, back in the day. I didn't meet her in college. She's about 9 years younger than me.
Okay, it's not
Score.
bad.
But we've known each
Score.
other. Yeah, we've known each other for 20 years. So I knew her before we dated and all
And
that.
how old are the boys?
So the boys are their birthdays are this coming up month.
March.
In March. So they'll be 13 and 15.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Fun ages.
they're in the fun zone.
Yeah, because they're kind of not, I wouldn't say grown, but they're like, you can leave them alone now. You don't have to like have a babysitter and sit, Bubba. He has to
they're
join.
super
He's sorry, he
fun.
has to join at
They're
least.
fun for me now. You know, they're not fun.
Because you can
when
kind of
they're-
hang out with them now in a
Oh,
way.
completely. So actually, Erin's in New Orleans right now, and
What's she doing there?
her family, her half of her family's from New Orleans.
Okay.
So I'm dad and mom and all that mess, but you know, when they're 13 and 15, it's no big deal.
That's awesome.
So, you know, we went and got steak 2 nights ago. We went to the burrito
Hanging
shack
out with the
last
boys.
night. You know, hang out. They like to ride dirt bikes. I ride dirt bikes.
I was
you know,
gonna
all
say,
that.
yep.
So it's fun.
One of them competes, maybe?
Yeah, Levi, the older one, he races national races, motocross.
So what are some of the big ones?
He's gone to like this weekend actually is the Daytona Supercross.
So kudos
That's
to
a
him.
big deal. Yeah.
Is that
He
in
broke his
Daytona?
hand though, so
You're gonna break something doing that. I mean,
Yeah.
at some point, collarbone. I mean, I grew up riding dirt bikes and 4-wheelers, and
Yeah.
I can tell you a couple. Like, I don't know how I still didn't break my neck.
I've never broken a bone.
No, don't. You better knock on something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 53 years old. And
53.
I broke,
Chad, you do not look 53
I broke
years
my
old.
collarbone last month. So
What'd you do?
Riding dirt bikes.
Oh, see, there we go. Okay.
Like an idiot. I need to find age-appropriate activities.
Gosh,
Yeah,
I always
wow.
like now. I like to stay on 4 wheels. I mean, if I got 4 wheels, I'm good. Actually, those Argos are 6 wheels, and they're pretty fun. Drove those that drive like this.
No, see, I'm an older guy, and I'm getting peer pressure by 14-year-olds to jump jumps and stuff.
He
It's
keeps saying
ridiculous.
older guy, and do you see this? He does not look 53 years old.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Did you bring your birth certificate with you?
I did. I have it in the car.
Yeah, we're gonna judge you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so yeah, you're working on some art. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So let's see. Well, I've always had that itch
Okay.
to scratch the art itch.
Your creative side.
Yeah, I think I got that from my dad because he does that too. But probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, I saw something on Instagram that really perked my interest. It's basically wood, like torching wood.
Okay.
It's very hard
Modern
to
day
describe.
woodworking.
Like with the pen or whatever that's
Well,
like hot?
Yeah, so there's the pen, but there's also, I just use torches, so like butane torches, so I don't use the pen. But something grabbed my interest online or something, and I actually called that guy. He was up in Vermont. I asked him how he did it, and we struck a
Just
friendship
curious.
up. And then I tried it out, and it worked out pretty well.
Gosh, next time you come on, we could do like a woodworking.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been.
Experiment.
Well, everybody's
Way
trying to get
fun.
me to do that.
Really?
To do kind of like the YouTube, this is how it's done.
Are you
type
really
of
good
thing.
at it?
Yeah.
I know.
think
You didn't bring an example?
I
Like,
didn't.
what do you do? Like, what do you make?
So I make fish and turtles, octopus, all that, and anything having to do with the ocean, basically.
I was
Okay.
gonna say,
Yeah.
are you from?
I've been here for
coastal
about
area?
30 years, but no, I'm originally from the mountains of Virginia.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it took off. So it's you start by doing one, then two, and then all of a sudden you do one for a friend for free. And then all of a sudden, somebody paid me
So it's-
$50 to do one.
Nice.
And I was like, wow, you're paying me for art?
We'll have to insert this somewhere.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it exploded, and now I have a wait list for custom work that's a year long.
Well, add me to it.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
add me to it.
Absolutely.
I'll hang it up in here somewhere.
Yeah, and now we've evolved it actually into contemporary wood sculpturing
Okay.
pieces. They're wall pieces, but they're contemporary and they're sculptures. And my dad does it, and Levi, my 14-year-old, does it. So it's kind
Aw.
of a generational thing.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Do you
Excited
feel
to
like,
see
do you feel like
an
this is more of
example.
like becoming more of a passion than being in the seat?
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
So you do the judge thing during the day, and then
It's like your release.
later on that evening, use the other half of your brain upstairs in my little studio, and do that. And
Do you feel
it's-
like as a judge, you kind of need to have something like that to kind of like shut your brain off?
Not really.
No?
I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing things.
Okay.
So
I am not.
work is work, and it stays there, and then I just do my other stuff.
See, that's great.
Nice.
Some things I could do without it overlapping too much.
It really
Not
doesn't.
me.
No. And plus, here's the thing, which is super cool. I love everything that I do. So being a district court judge, I love it. It is so fun. I think it's right in my wheelhouse. I think I've found my calling with that. But then also doing the art, I love. And
Yeah.
So it's
And you love your family.
Love my family. So
You're just a
everything.
lovable guy.
No, I think I have.
Must be nice.
I have fell into some good things,
Well, you work your ass off for stuff too, and it's somewhat of a life return in a way to, you put forth effort into doing the things you love, and surround yourself with people that you care about and that are good to you, and the reciprocations there, and I guess you can put it back in the universe.
And a financial return. Too.
Yeah.
Well,
Hopefully it pays the bills,
That's a good analysis, Jessica. I like that. I think that's good.
And it being such a serious job,
Mm-hmm.
do you ever find any humor or fun in the? There must be some. Like,
Always.
I mean, you've got to have some people in that courtroom sometimes that you just cannot hold back,
Oh, absolutely.
from letting that laugh out when you're not supposed to or whatever.
Well, I keep it in pretty good. So a lot of people tell me, I don't know how you stay so patient or
Calm.
you don't react emotionally to things, and I don't know. I think that's just my nature. I can do that, but there's so many storylines from being in court every day. It's hilarious. We could all write books.
So if
I
there
want
was
to hear
literally-
at least one.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
these
okay,
most
go.
recent
Yes.
fun ones.
let's hear a good one.
So let's see.
They cuss you out in the courtroom.
Oh gosh,
Hey, you asshole.
that's about weekly.
Oh no.
Do people
Yeah.
not know how court works?
Well, yeah, they do.
Things to avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of,
Cussing out the
that was one of
judge.
the questions was what are some things that you not on the other side, be not me being a criminal, but being a criminal.
I've been to traffic court.
Hey, traffic court. I better knock on
Traffic
something.
court is crazy sometimes. We pull over 1,000 people sometimes on a Friday in traffic court.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait,
So is that like a good DUI check? They can get 1,000 people.
No. I mean, every
That's a lot of
Friday.
They
cars
come
on the
into
side of the
court.
road.
Every Friday in Wilmington, at least, there's traffic court, and sometimes those numbers, like the number of people that have to be there, is 1,000 people.
yeah,
And
I've stood in that line.
But it's not me doing it. I mean, I get in there after the dust settles, so it's the clerks, it's the lawyers,
Yeah.
it's the DAs that are up there on the front lines,
Yeah,
kind of
literally.
doing all that. And when I take the bench, normally all that's kind of settled down, and then I'm dealing with the stuff that needs a judge, let's say. So
I've always been intrigued with what's going on behind the chambers.
I was gonna say I
With
got a
coffee.
speeding
Do you
ticket
have
a couple
coffee
months
machine?
ago.
Do you have
that's
What's back
more
there?
TV than reality. I
Judge
think.
Judy?
It's not as colorful as it used to be. Let's just put it that way. So when I first started practicing law back in the 90s, the environment was a little bit more. I always like to say colorful. You had some characters out there, and the environment tended to allow some good storylines of things, but it's gotten a lot tighter over the years, and so there's not so much of that anymore.
What
Yeah.
kind of law did you practice?
Mostly criminal defense,
Okay.
but a little bit of civil too.
Any murders?
Yeah, I did a couple murder cases back in the day. Yeah.
Because I'm really good friends with Sean Spearing and Brad
Yeah.
Matthews.
The
and all those
murderers?
boys. No, but they're actually in a murder trial right now, and every time they're buckled down with these things, they're like, I can't do anything this next couple weeks. And he's like, I'll see you when that trial's over.
No, it's everything.
And hopefully when it's over, they come up here and celebrate.
Yeah, it's everything.
How scary though too.
I would ask you if you got any actual murderers off, but
Off?
you don't have to answer
Oh
it.
no, I tried a murder case.
Yeah.
We didn't get him off. He was originally charged with first-degree murder. I think what did it happen? I think he was found guilty of second-degree murder and armed robbery. I think.
Okay.
So I guess a little bit of a reduction, but yeah. But yeah, very intense. Yeah, you're all in when that happens.
It's funny because I've seen so many times how, speaking of compartmentalizing, is the friendships between the prosecutors, the public defenders, the district attorneys in courtroom is completely different than they are when they're together as friends because they actually can separate it. Like
Absolutely.
I wouldn't. If
Oh,
I
like
didn't
going
know.
at it in the courtroom and then like
going
grabbing
out-
drinks
yeah,
after.
Yeah, exactly. And really like being able to separate all that. So,
Yeah. I would say this. We have I call it a court family.
Mm-hmm.
So DAs, defense attorneys, clerks, judges, bailiffs, everybody. It's like a family. It's really good. I mean, maybe that's why I enjoy my work so much.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
everybody
if
I
you
get
don't
to
like
go
the
to work
people
with
you
every
work
day,
with.
I enjoy.
Because it must be really tough when you're like going up to bat with one of your buddies outside of work because of your.
It might be fun.
I mean, I guess it could be.
Well, you know what? We had a teen moot court. Teen moot court a couple weekends ago. So it's basically high school kids that do this
Like juvenile court.
I went to
no,
that
they
once.
actually they're the attorneys.
Oh,
and-
okay.
Oh, just
yeah,
kidding.
so
Sorry,
it's
I
like
went
a
to something
competition.
different.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I remember telling them about my first jury trial, and that was so funny because that was back like 96,
was it?
97. It was a DWI case, and I just remember getting called to do the jury trial. You're so nervous, you're freaking out. And then these 12 people are there and they're listening to you, and it's a lot. And I remember doing my opening argument. So, Mr. Hogston, you da-da-da-da. So I get up there and start talking, and literally I felt like I exited my body and was watching
From above.
or beside, the body that was doing this opening argument. It was like blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what is this person doing, right? And then I got done with my opening argument, and I entered my body again and sat down. And my client,
His outer body
This is
experience.
compartmentalizing. You were like, that's
Right,
not
right.
me. I wasn't
But-
doing all that.
But this is actually what happened. I sat down after the opening statement, and my client leaned over and he goes, "Is this your first jury trial?" I was like, "Yeah."
Gosh.
Is this your first
It was
DUI?
this long-
Why are you so
Right.
familiar with
Probably
things?
not.
There was this long running joke between all the court people that I know forever. They're like, if I get in big trouble, like, I'm friends with all of them, so none of them going to be able to try me. They're going to have to send me to another county. And then what happens if I know the one in that county? Then it's like, Jesse, just don't get in trouble. Because,
Right.
like, between the prosecutors
Or
and
don't tell
DAs
them you
and all of
know
them, like, I mean, both Harjo is one of my really close friends. I love
She's so
Jennifer.
sweet, yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny, that, like I said, being able to see them have that job. They're all different titles and different what they're fighting against, and then to see them out there, everything's like nothing happened. None of it comes up. They don't,
Jesse, I don't see you getting in trouble.
Okay, let's hope not. God,
And
my mouth gets me in a lot of trouble, but whatever.
Harjo is awesome.
Yeah,
She
hey,
was
I would
awesome.
say we're allowed to mess up once or twice. My friendships, I say, hey, look,
Life's all about learning from your mistakes.
yes, learning your boundaries. And
Well, and
Giving
then also
people
is
another
forgiveness, right? So
Yes.
if you have friends, you got to be able to forgive.
yes, yeah.
So, absolutely.
And so there was one question I had from someone that says, so how do the attorneys or prosecutors, does the closing act sway the decision on the criminal trial? Could like that closing argument like really
Right.
sway you one way or the other?
Or are you pretty much usually already set?
Oh,
I would think they could say something that could change everything.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what? This actually happened today.
Oh, no way.
So a guy was in court, and they, said their side, and the other side, presented theirs. And then the guy on the one side said, I asked him, do you have anything else you want to say or add? And he goes, well, you've probably already made up your mind, And I was like, actually, no, I haven't. That's
Yeah.
why I asked you the question. Do you have anything else you want to say? Because I'm honestly wide open on hearing everything.
Yeah.
Get your word in while you can.
You hear that, criminals?
Like,
Don't
it's
give up
your
until the
piece,
end.
But also this, I am not too proud to say I'm wrong or go down a line of where I think I'm going on something, and then say, no. You know what?
Never mind.
You know what? No, I think I need to change course.
Well, that's
I think I
what
was-
makes a great judge too, though. Like,
Well, you got to put your ego aside if you can, for sure.
I would be a horrible judge. I would be so bad. I they look guilty. Yeah, sure,
She'd be
whatever.
giving everybody the chair.
There's you know what though? It's this way. When you don't
I mean-
when you take the bench for the first time, it's very odd. because
The first time up there, like here we
it's
are.
crazy. You put that black robe on, you get up there, and then
You're
everybody's
the boss.
and it's elevated, so it's like everybody's looking at you.
You're
Literally on a stage, yeah.
Yeah, and the day before, you were brothers and sisters down
normie.
there, just so it's odd, and you're on your little island by yourself basically, and then you evolve over years on how you deal with that, how you act, and you could probably ask everybody that we know, how was Chad in 2010 versus 2025?
I used to tell Lizzie McKee all the time I was going to go in there one day and just sit and watch because they all see me and what I do every day, and then I don't know what they do all day at work.
Right.
I have an idea in my mind of what they do, but like to go sit there and actually see them, like,
Yeah, it could be fun
their
if
job.
you're just like there to watch.
Yeah, just to watch.
Yeah.
Well, I try to put myself in the person's shoes that is there for the first time. I can imagine that would be so scary. It's like going to the ER or whatever.
Like your first surgery,
Or
your first
cut
open heart
somebody open
surgery.
or something. Oh my
Yeah.
I mean,
God.
how nervous? I mean, I can imagine that would be a very nerve-wracking setup.
Like Sandra Ray, another really close friend of mine is a judge. She, like, I would be horrified if I had to go get in front of her. Like
Sandra's tough.
and like the Sandra I know is just sweet and kind and awesome. So I don't know. I've never seen her.
Tough
like,
on crime.
I'm scared to see any of y'all on the bench.
I'm
observant.
actually very happy to make your acquaintance. If you ever see me down there, I don't know you, but take
Well,
it
you
easy.
said this-
Have
yeah.
mercy, please.
You said this earlier. You're like, well, if I get in trouble, nobody can hear it and all that. We see that.
Yeah.
So if you came in my courtroom and were in trouble, I'd have to say, well, I got to recuse myself. I know Jesse. I can't hear the case.
They'd all be recusing me. I'd be like,
You
where am I
would. We'd have to
going?
bring in a special judge,
There you go.
an emergency
You
judge.
literally have to go to a different
Jesse.
I was
state.
even with Judge Cobb. He's retired, right?
I saw Judge Cobb today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, one of our clerks was retiring after 30 years, Jennifer Wittenberger. So, God, I've known her forever. She's such a sweet lady, and she was retiring today. I was like, I came in when you came in. Is it my turn yet? She's like, no, not yet.
So retiring,
Gonna
you have
miss-
what? You have, it's 13 years?
I'm 15 years in. I'd like to do a couple more terms. Yeah.
How long is a term?
Oh, and that was another
4.
good question. Was
Yeah.
so how do you feel about the difference in being appointed and being elected?
So there's 2 different concepts for that.
Yeah.
Appointments versus being elected. So people will say if you are elected, then it's more political.
Okay, exactly. It's without a doubt.
I would disagree.
No?
Yeah,
Please let me
appointments
know.
are just as political.
Okay.
Okay, you're just appointed by somebody. Right?
Somebody did it.
And to get appointed, that's got to be political in nature.
Okay,
right?
you're right.
So it's the same thing. I like the election process because it's the people you all.
It's a bigger win. You're like,
Well,
I got all these people.
and it's you. You get to,
Yeah.
you get to decide who's taking that seat.
So the people of the town are
Absolutely. So I'm in a rented. This is rented seat, right? So it's not mine. It's yours.
Is the one-
So you get to pick.
Well, Superior lasts forever, right?
No, it's 8 years.
8 years. Okay.
Yeah. 8-year terms. District court judge, which is what I am, is a 4-year term.
Okay.
Yep. So
Have you ever
every
known
4
about it?
years.
It's just you.
Well,
That happens. I see it all the time.
fortunately, I've been.
And
I was
Who
gonna
they
say,
vote
why do I even
against?
have to scribble this
Yeah.
dot
It's
in?
like
I had to
Sandra,
run-
whatever.
yeah.
There's no like
I ran the first time. So in 2010, I ran for an open seat, and I ran against 4 other people. So I actually had a primary, and then it went to a general election. So it was a big process. God, that year was unbelievable.
Do you have signs everywhere
All of it.
to raise all that
Raise
money?
money, have events, etc. And so that was 2010. So I had to do that.
Mhm.
I was running my own business, a law firm. We had our first kid, Levi. I trained and ran my first marathon.
Oh wow.
Ugh.
So all of that in 2010, right? It was a crazy year, but it was all worth it.
Full marathon.
Yeah, my only one.
Was it
I'm not doing that
27
anymore.
point something?
26.2. So I leave that to my wife. So my wife is the runner.
legs.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
she,
she's been practicing her whole life.
She actually qualified for the Olympic trials.
Go
Yeah, in the
ahead.
marathon. Yep. She
That's
ran a
crazy.
marathon in 6:15 pace. Can you
I don't
believe
know what
that?
that means.
It's crazy
I
fast. I can't do a
can-
mile in
Okay.
6:15 pace. And she did a
Oh,
whole
wait.
marathon.
Wait,
What?
like her mile, like
A
miles per
pace.
hour?
A mile in 6 minutes and 15 seconds, which is fast.
Okay.
And she
Okay.
did a whole marathon in that.
You know, I think when the last
Crazy.
question, the last question I wanted to ask you was sort of like, is with all the craziness going on. I mean, I've got my own, per se, stalkers and with restraining orders and things like that. You know, there are just a lot of crazy people out there, especially when you're in the public eye and like whatever. What are some of the precautions you take for you and your family to stay away from, like, say you had to try somebody in court and like they have a vendetta or they're some sort of malicious something, like, I mean, are you packing some heat? Like,
Is this the last question,
No.
Jesse? Because this is very dark.
the last serious one?
I have always
going
like
on.
I've always like wondered that about judges, like if it causes, like, not for you in particular, but like for any judge, does it cause like kind of strife or tension within like the marriage or the family because the
Oh.
family feels like
Oh,
maybe
right.
like you wanted this job but it makes us a target in certain situations or something. But I've always been like, if I was a judge, I'd be terrified all the time.
Yeah, no. I haven't really run
So you
into
probably
that.
blend in back when you're out in public. You probably just blend back in.
You do. Plus, I like to put out good energy in my courtrooms. So normally I don't have problems. I mean, every now and then you're going to. It's just,
Because
That's just
Yeah.
what it is.
they're not going to be.
but I would hope that the energy I put out and the respect I put out, so I respect everybody that's in front of me. And if you do that in the beginning, then you
You're setting
normally
the
will
tone.
receive that. Yeah, you set the tone. And it's just about reading the room, getting an idea what's going on. But normally I get a good response from folks. So I haven't had any issues.
Have you ever been like judging like a trial, or I don't know, I really should have like Googled like judge things
No, no.
because I don't even know how to ask the
AI.
questions I'm thinking.
No,
AI podcast with
Ask
Judge.
away. This is the best way to do it. Yeah.
But okay, so have you ever been like in a trial like and felt like, ooh, this person might be kind of sketchy in that way that like when they get out they'll be mad at me?
Sure.
Like, do they? Oh, okay.
But you know what?
Did I ask right?
If you can't handle that, you shouldn't be doing it. So I figure, you look, I wanted this position. You know, God put me here for a reason. And if I'm not supposed to be here, then I won't be here. But if you can't handle that part, then you shouldn't be doing it.
I see how you make a great judge.
This is going to sound really hokey, but you know, when you've been doing it for so long, you go back to kind of reflecting on things and then saying very trite phrases, but it's a complete honor to be able to do this. And it really, you try to figure out, okay, what am I supposed to do in life, or what's my purpose, or, you know, am I affecting people, all that mess. I get to do that every day. And you get to choose people, like individual folks that you can affect in all kinds of different ways. Or not even the person in front of you, but let's say their grandmother that's out there in the audience, or whatever it is. You get to choose when you affect that person,
Yeah.
and whether you affect it in a good way or a bad way.
Yeah.
And man, that's such an honor to be able to have that ability to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a lot of power, like, over.
Well,
Not
look,
that came
there's-
off like not great, but
no,
like.
I get it. No, I completely understand what you're saying. Some people will take it that way, though. So
Yeah.
it's it's a lot, and you can either be humble about it, or you can take it in the wrong way and run with it in a bad way.
Well, you
So-
seem very humble.
Well, like
Well,
she
thank
said,
You're
you
crushing it.
definitely you make a very fine judge.
I appreciate it, Jesse. Let's just hope you never have to come in there,
No,
right?
no, God, no. Like you said, you'll have to recourse me,
Recuse.
recuse me.
I was like,
Recuse.
okay.
I'd have
Yeah.
to recuse myself.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
'Cause I'd be like, hey, I know Jesse.
You wish he'd recuse.
He
me.
probably did it. Whatever he's gonna
Probably. But
I'm biased.
wow. So just in case you didn't know a little bit, Greyson, she used to work here. She was a bartender for years. You worked at the other place when we had it. Now she's a liquor distributor.
Rep.
Rep.
Yeah.
She's doing a fine
Only the
job as
ABC
well.
is the ABC is the only liquor distributor.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's always nice, I wanted to have her on for an episode, and here she is.
We always used to actually talk about starting a podcast together.
And here we are.
Yeah, I haven't even.
This won't be your last one.
You're doing a really good job.
Am I? Wow, thank you. I'm like
You are.
super nervous.
Well, you told me this was your first one, and I said, well,
You
we'll
two,
do it
you
together.
both just kick me out, and y'all take over.
Yeah, you're doing awesome. So,
Oh my God, thanks.
Well, next week we have Allison and Amanda Mason.
all
Next
right.
week, yeah, she's got her new divorce. What's it called again? She's gonna we'll
Is
say-
it a mediation
yeah.
type of thing?
So we'll
Yeah.
save that for next week, Amanda.
Amanda is fantastic.
Bruce,
Her and
love them.
Bruce
Mhm.
are good people.
Really
I've
good
known them
people.
forever. Bruce had an unbelievable house downtown for a while. Oh, he still lives downtown.
Yeah, that house is
And
amazing.
that place is amazing too.
Yeah.
Like
We share
down
a
like
dog
that way,
center.
like where they have all the like old beautiful houses.
Uh-huh, right there.
Yes.
And love
And
all-
Bruce has
all
got
those
very
houses are
good taste,
gorgeous.
and he's just got a good style to him. So, yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having
Can
me.
you think of anything else you have any people you want to shout out to, or
Oh, lots of people, but
let them have it?
yeah.
Just Erin, of course. Next time we'll have to have her on here with you.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody. I'm drawing a blank at this point, but they're all going to laugh at me when they see this.
Is Pender County the one that's like out towards Jacksonville, like in between?
Yes, in between Onslow County and New Hanover. It's
Okay.
Pender County.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's where I just went to traffic court. So you
Oh,
know
in
Sean.
Burgaw. In Burgaw?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were in traffic court. What did you get? What happened?
Speeding.
How fast?
It was probably like 15 over. It was like literally on a back road. There was no other
see, here we go.
cars.
Here's the explanation. Go ahead. Let me hear
It's a
it.
back road. Back roads were made for exceeding the speed.
Okay. Yes.
Not that I do it anymore.
right.
We're good now. But yeah.
So what did they do for you?
I did the course, the 4-hour
The
course.
driving school?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you learn something?
Yeah, that I don't like getting speeding tickets.
Well, that's great. Good.
Yeah.
See, you learned something. We all learned something.
I literally drive like a grandma now because I'm like,
I've
you
actually
are not
gotten
getting
like
me
that,
back
too.
there.
I've slowed down quite a bit, and that lead foot's gone away. It's just not worth it being in a rush anymore out there on the roads. It's just not.
Yeah. Why
It
be from
isn't.
Russia? There's no rush.
No, there's no rush. Oh man. Well, thank you so much, and everybody's follow us with the Penthouse Podcast on Instagram. And now we're on. Well, you can watch this on YouTube. You can listen to it on Spotify, and now we have Apple. So now our new platform is Apple, and we've added that to our platforms. So thanks again to Zach and Max and Scotty and
Yeah,
everybody that's
guys.
helping out with all this, and thanks to you, Judge.
Jesse, thank you so much. I really enjoyed
This
this.
was great.
And
Yeah.
great job.
Thank you. Back at ya.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.